This is Vanessa and welcome to the Lunar Review. Today I'm talking about May 18th, 2025, and we've got the Sun conjuncting Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And we've also got another important aspect, which is Mercury in Taurus squaring Mars in Leo. So first a little bit about the Sun conjunct Uranus. So when we have a conjunction, it is the fusion of two energies. So these two energies come together and just create something very new, very powerful, and different than the two energies when they are alone. So the sun is our purpose in life. It is our raison d'etre. It is our reason to be. The sun archetype is the most basic, fundamental, foundational representation of who we are. We are really authentic, we are genuinely happy, we're balanced when we express the qualities of our sun sign. Does it always come naturally? No, unfortunately it doesn't. Even though it's organic, sometimes we need a certain amount of maturity or experience or some sort of lessons to really have the sun qualities blossom. Sometimes we just don't really know ourselves enough to express them fully. So now we have Uranus. Uranus is one of the outer planets. It's so far out that we need a telescope to see it. It's so far that it takes 84 years to revolve around the sun. And when you compare that to a planet like Mercury, which is really close to the Earth and really close to the sun, Mercury only takes 88 days to go around the sun. So Uranus relates to many things, but I'm going to focus on the more mercurial qualities of Mercury, and this means I'm talking about our mental capacities. And Uranus wants us to engage our higher mind. It wants us to take a very subjective, non-emotional, very forward-moving approach to information and data and research. So he wants us to take just stale, dry, boring facts and elevate it and bring it to a level of new awareness. And one way this is done is by detaching from our emotions. So we can really see what is there in a scientific way when we can not have our personal likes and dislikes tainting something. And if we're doing an experiment, we're not going to bias it or prejudice because we need the outcome to be a certain way. The higher mind is able to focus for long periods of time. It's able to just hone in on one thing and the attention is held so that your thoughts can develop. So that's one of its strengths, is just being able to concentrate. And the higher mind also can find other perspectives than the one that you originally started with. Sometimes we have these philosophies and biases that we all do, definitely, that we have grown up with. We've inherited them from our environment, from our family, from our parents. And that's fine because we need a framework to get going and to survive and to learn. But then when those basic needs are met, you can go beyond. So you have your sort of primal education, and then Uranus wants us to go a step higher and engage what is called the higher mind. So what it does is the higher mind hunts with extreme precision, and it's always hunting for new knowledge that's just right outside or above or behind what we already know. And although this is highly logical, it's unbiased, it's objective, it's also very intuitive. So it seems like that is quite a paradox, but it's this ability to join the left and right hemispheres of the brain that actually produces genius. That's part of the intuitive, part of the intuition. And as intuition, what intuition does is it bridges reason and instinct. And it's the unconscious, super lightning fast processing and sorting and analyzing of what you already know, what's already stored, what that precious information is that's stored, protected in your noggin, in your head. And Uranus is really behind the human spirit to advance and go beyond what is strictly offered by nature. When the Sun and Uranus conjunct, there is an entirely new power source created. And we have the sun, which in our solar system, our sun is what we revolve around. It is the ultimate power source. It is the sun, the sun, the sun. That's where it all comes from. And then we have Uranus, which is extremely young energy. It's lightning quick. It is fast. It's incredibly fast energy. It's sudden movements without warning. It's disruptive, unstable. It is completely out of control at times. So we have the sun, which is the seat of our vitality. It's our creative potential. So when it combines with the lightning quick features of Uranus, we can get the production of new and novel thoughts. We can have new methods, new ways of doing things, just new ways of going about the things that we do. You could become much more intuitive. You could get these intuitive hits. An idea could just fall from heaven and land in your lap right now. So we have our sense of purpose that comes from the sun, and right now it's directing us to think big, to take the higher perspective with, a good old boost of Uranian energy thrown in there. So there might be sudden opportunities for you to drop your big ideas or to start making your way toward a dream or just something that's really important to you. Following your impulses could pay off big time right now. This is a really good time to take a risk because Uranus favors the unusual, the eclectic, the riskiness, the risk-taking. And right now there's an openness to something new. So, go ahead, express the most unique parts of yourself. It's really a good time to not run with the herd. We are pretty much hardwired as humans to seek safety in numbers and in the herd and not standing out too much. But right now, that's never a great tactic. But right now, it's a good time to get rebellious and even a little indignant if you have to. Separate from the herd, rise above it. Because yes, that has its safety features and it's good points to have your community, to have your herd, but that is not how innovation works. That you don't create something new by repeating the same patterns over and over again. So Uranus is the planet of rebellion and revolution. It's a source of force that is needed sometimes just to break up those really stale, stuck, and old, irrelevant ways. So this is all happening in the sign of Taurus, and she is yin. She is delightful, just safety-seeking, pleasant. She's represented by the bull. She is sure-footed and patient and really willing to stick with the routine in order to see those long-term results. And she's also always ready to enjoy the sensual pleasures in life, the good things that life offers. So with this in mind, you might be tested with things related to your personal stability and comfort. You might be forced to go out of your comfort zone, to do the things you're not comfortable with, to ultimately preserve your sense of safety. So things that you do routinely now may require some extra energy, or you might have to find a new way of doing something. Maybe things or activities that brought you comfort and enjoyment, happiness, maybe these have got to be redefined, recreated in a more interesting, practical, or innovative way. So there is a lot of strength and energy in general with this transit, a lot of young energy. And it could actually last because Taurus is the bull, she's earth, she's very grounded and slower moving. She moves slowly and well, not necessarily slowly, but I would say slow to moderate and very regularly. So I think this means that these high energy levels, from the sun, from Uranus, might actually find some grounding and some footing and might even be able to last, or at least for a certain amount of time anyway. And I think if you just make sure to nurture it, because this is Taurus, a very nurturing sign, that if you can eat well and get your rest and support this energy flow, that you can really keep this energy going. And I think the Taurus energy could really reach up into the high altitudes of Uranus and just bring this energy down to a ground level where things move more slowly, more practically, and more realistic. Also on May 18th, we have Mercury in Taurus squaring Mars in Leo. Mercury is the planet of our mental capacities and of communication. So what this means is that learning and thinking, they're given more structure in the sign of Taurus. And that means the grounded energy. Taurus is an earth sign. This energy is helping to keep the mind from becoming unfocused and from spiraling out of control and being attention deficit. That Taurus can take all those ideas that are flying around and bring them into one consolidated yin state. That's a very yin thing to be able to do, is to attract and be magnetic and pull things in and gather and consolidate. So from many ideas could come one idea. From the multiples, one. One is chosen and thought about and developed. Learning could also come on a more instinctual level right now, where the body is the guide and your sensations are leading you to your next move, to your next thought, that your senses are going to filter the information coming in, and basically you have faith in the answer that your body is giving you. Then we have Mars in Leo. So Mars is the planet of war, aggression, and violence, and he represents our ability to survive and our physical vitality. So Mars is the first planet to greet you when you wake up in the morning. He is with us when we open up our eyes. It's the first input of yang energy. We are up and alert for dangers and for opportunities to exert our will. In Leo, Mars is more dramatic, more sure, more confident of himself, and also more sensitive to criticism. In general, Leos identify themselves with their sort of self-designated royal status and really need to be recognized as such by others. So you might feel more protective over your own creative abilities and talents and not take criticism too well, even if it's constructive, even if it's true, because it's going to be a blow to the ego. And it's a challenge to your sense of self-worth when you hear negative judgments passed against something that has got your personal stamp of creativity on it. Leo is a fire sign, and Mars is the planet of propulsion, of force, and action. It's the red planet, so he's fierce and fiery. So again, a lot of energy at hand, and there's going to be some swagger because of good old Leo, and perhaps a little bit of showing off of your greatest talents is in order. The square is a difficult aspect. It's what we call a hard aspect. And we've got two powerful influences that are basically clashing. They both have different ways of achieving the goal. But the good news is with the square is that this wild mashup produces friction. And that means that there's going to be movement, especially, well, you have to put in hard work and effort, but that there will be some sort of movement. We have Mars in Leo, which desperately wants to showcase some talents, while we have Mercury in Taurus wanting to take some time to think about what's the most important, what will bring stability, what will keep all the foundation solid. With the square, the dynamic, it's so full of tension and it just wants to release, so that means action will be taken. And this is Mars, so you will act on your desires. Mars in Leo. And this is in order to maintain the peace, the harmony in your life, to keep your peace of mind, and to protect your personal philosophies that have always kept you sane and happy, which is your Taurus and Mercury. So with a little flair for the dramatic, a sense of your own greatness, you can wholeheartedly, again, with your Mars and Leo, take charge and do or demand the things that you need to feel satisfaction. Mercury represents communication, so the things you need to do could revolve around conversations you need to have, letting others know what you think is important, and just generally make yourself understood so there's no mistaking what your needs are. There is a strong dose of Taurian energy right now. So this might be a really good time to think about what brings you joy, what brings you a sense of personal safety, because you might find that the two are one and the same, that what brings you joy could be tied up with your material security, with your possessions. Mars in Leo really motivates you to protect those needs by propelling you into action and to make sure that things stay comfortable. Taurus doesn't like drama nearly as much as Leo, but then again, perhaps there is no other sign that enjoys drama as much as Leo. But the good thing is that Leo is a fire sign, which is passion and inspiration and motivation. And this can be just the thing that can prod Taurus into action, because sometimes Taurus can be very yin and just be content and not moving fast. And with the zip, with the zang from Leo, this could really help motivate Taurus into action. And maybe Taurus will like getting into a little, just like a little minor tussle with people, or just really letting others know what their needs are and enjoy being heard and enjoy that process. However, I would say just remember to be respectful to other people's opinions or needs. And if you are the one who needs to dish out some criticism to someone, to do it truthfully but delicately. Use a little finesse, because you don't want to ruin someone else's day unnecessarily. Well, as always, I hope that you enjoy this transit, and if anybody would like to book a reading with me, please find me at my website, thelunarreview.com. Thank you for listening, and I will be back again.